Hey guys, it's Neon Nazi back again with another Destiny6 video. Today we're going to be doing our weekly feature, which for people that don't know, I do every week because some of you guys probably have these units, some of you guys probably pulled them since this new rotation went live yesterday, and majority of you are probably going to be pulling these units within the next week. So just to give you guys tips, I do this every week. Yes, I'm a day short, but cut me some slack, guys. So let's go straight into Codex. I know that I've already covered Jun once, but that was when I was just starting the game, and I think right now I can give you guys better advice on him, so I'm just going to do the Jun feature again. So let's go off with Natalia first. So Rock Natalia, I actually have history with her. She was one of my first units in the game, and I tried not to build her because I was so convinced I was going to get Paper Cur, but I never got Paper Cur, still don't have him, and I think Rock Natalia was a worthwhile investment for me, especially in Giants, and as well as in Conquest. First ability is Bloody March, deals I think 6 to 7 hits. It happens so fast, maybe even 8 hits, but it happens really fast, but it is a multi-hit. So you guys can go concentration if you guys want to. However, bleeding does scale off of your attack power, and the attack and the bleeding effect gets weaker and weaker as time passes on because because the boss's HP gets lower and bleeding scales off the opponent's current HP. Not total, but current HP. So towards the end, it's more about how much damage you have rather than how much HP the boss has left, which is why I have her on Vitality, but it doesn't, on Bravery. But even if you build her on Concentration, it shouldn't make too much of a difference. So it's up to you guys, but I just have mine on Bravery just to maximize the damage I can do with Bleed. Her first attack is AoE with 750% of attack. Like I said, does multiple hits. Also ignores defense if the target is already bleeding. So if you do 7 hits, right? Let's just say you guys do 7 hits. First hit lands the bleeding. The remaining 6 hits will ignore defense, which is pretty darn cool, I think. It goes up to a 30-second cooldown, 950 attack. Still will ignore 80% of the defense, and the chance to land bleeding does not go up, but the duration of it does go up to 12 seconds. Second skill is Alluring Dance. It has a breakpoint, can be used in certain stages of the Imperial Giant, however cannot be used in the final stage of Imperial Giant. You get my point. The cooldown is 42 seconds, goes down to 37 seconds. You deal damage and it's a multi-hit. You have a chance to charge. Charge, for if you guys are not familiar with it, is you interrupt their skill, so it's pretty much like shock. However, what it also does is pull them towards the caster. So that's pretty cool. Although most situations you want the bosses to be away from you. So that's kind of situational, the pulling towards you. And break skill goes up to 3 towards the very end. So she can be used in PvP. In PvE. Never ever seen her in arena. No, I don't. I was gonna say I use her in the faction arena, but I don't because I use her sister there. Her leader skill is increase the final damage of rock heroes by 10%, which I use in Giants for my Rock Jun because Rock Jun is rock, and then she'll increase how much damage he deals, even if my Rock Jun scales off defense. And then her striker skill is basically 6,000 points of Alluring Dance, 3 break points, and you deal increased damage if the target is already bleeding, and you have a 45% chance to charge. However, I think that she is only worthwhile in your core 3 in PvE teams, so would not recommend her in PvP. She can be used. She definitely does deal damage. If you guys go for the concentration route with her multi-hits, you guys can actually do quite a decent amount of damage, but I just don't see her being viable in PvP. She can be used in PvE though, especially in Conquest. Her skill preview, there's nothing much to look at, but might as well just show it to you guys really quick. First skill does multi-hit, so concentration would be really good. Wouldn't be bad, and over here too. Second skill is also a multi-hit, and if you guys look, even her auto attacks, she will deal cleave damage, meaning that she'll hit one target a few times, and then she'll hit all 3 or as many as she can get inside her hitbox at least once, meaning that if she hits 3 targets like that and you have a 33% crit rate chance on her, she is most probably going to crit at least one of those 3 targets. So again, concentration is justifiable. However, again, I rune her on Bravery just to make sure I deal as much damage as I can when the bosses are low in HP. Scissor Natalia is covered in my best popular, or no, not the best strikers, the most popular strikers. I covered 12 of them. She's one of them. She does have a lifesteal, so in terms of lifesteal, I think that she can, in a sense, replace Scissor Yanuk. Of course, Scissor Yanuk has a multi-hit, and he does it several times. She only does it once, but it does have a stacking skill, and her second skill also does have lifesteal. So her first skill is Instant Judgment, has a 20-second cooldown, and it actually goes on to 15 seconds. So that's one of the fastest cooldowns in the game that I've seen. She does AoE damage of 400% of attack power, which is less than her sister, yes, but it's because she does have lifesteal. If she dealt as much damage as her sister and still did 60% lifesteal, which actually goes to 80% at level 5, that would be pretty darn OP. Actually, it will deal 100% of lifesteal if you deal a critical hit. So with her, it's almost always reliable to go with a concentration route. Both skills are just they're just single hits on multiple targets. It's an AoE skill, but she'll only do the AoE skill once. So, but concentration is still a viable route because if you do crit, you gain an immense amount of lifesteal. Second skill, Death Sight, AoE damage again of 900% of attack power and a lifesteal of 40% of damage dealt. Lifesteal is going to be equal to 80% of damage dealt upon a critical hit. So again, the more critical hit chance you have, the more chance of you guys doing some OP lifesteal. Leader skill will increase the attack of Meridian faction by 10%, which is great because she scales off of attack power. Her striker skill is what she's best known for in Arena. Seen her thousands of times, even in not so much in top 10, but in like the top 50, she's definitely used. Death Sight, it's so great because when she comes out, let's compare her to Eve, okay? Eve's striker skill is also healing, and she generally heals. In the top 10 rank where I normally end up, I see Eve's healing from 19,000 to 22,000 HP. She won't be healing you for that much, but her lacking in healing is kind of justified by the damage that she deals. And when she crits and she gives you 2.5 times the damage that you deal, she also deals that damage times 1.5 because it's a critical hit, or if it's 150%, then it's a 1.5. If it's 180%, that's like 1.8. Whatever, you guys do the math for your own Natalia stats, but she deals damage and she does lifesteal, and the lifesteal can actually be an insane amount. I've seen some Natalia out there heal for like 18k, okay? And she healed for 18k, and she dealt, I think, like 7,000 or 8,000 damage onto my team, which is just insane. So yeah, I would build her on crit, and she can be used in PvE as well as your sustain unit if you guys want to run a speed comp, but safety in it as well, then she would be a good candidate because she has lifesteal, but she also has damage. But most people use her in PvE in the striker position for her striker skill. Let me just say this really quick. Natalia, the first one, give her precision to land her bleeding. Precision crush to land her bleeding. For the second one, give her anything you guys want. I would personally go with grit, just so that she already has such a low cooldown, so just make her cooldowns even faster. Up to you guys on the second one. Let's talk about Jun. Rock Jun, arguably one of the best units in the game right now, along with Paper Adonis and Scissor Carlota. Last Stand is absolutely OP. So this skill can actually one-shot majority of the scenario maps in the game. I've seen my Rock Jun can one-shot all of the primal giants, and he can also one-shot both the Imperial Giant. Imperial. I cannot say it. Imperial? Did I say it right? Giants. Yes, I think I did. What's so great about this is it is a double-edged sword. You first of all deal damage based on your defense, which makes your team much more safer because defense makes your team tankier, but the more defense you have, the more damage he deals. It also ignores 80% of the enemy's defense, and right here is just what makes him so great. Remember here, all the HP, all the times you see HP, remember to put in current right in front of HP, okay? There's a translation error, but it basically means current HP. He will sacrifice 10% of your team's total current HP to deal damage of 14, 22, or 30% of the enemy's current HP. So the healthier the opponent is the healthier they are, the more damage you'll deal. And also, this basically does 2 hits. It's a multi-hit, as in the first one, as your first hit is just skilling off of the defense, and your second hit is what you're doing that's skilling off of attack. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the one that skills off of your of the HP, sorry, can actually crit. So that 30% of enemy's current HP can actually be a 45% because 30 times 1.5 is 45%, right? So, God, I hope I did that right because I'm Asian. I should have math down for me. So he deals immense damage here, and I'm sure you guys have seen the videos. He just one-shots practically anything. I have mine on concentration because when he crits, he does immense damage, and his second ability here is a multi-hit, so the concentration route is justified to a certain extent. This one over here is a single target damage, skills off of defense, and it decreases a random ally skill cooldown by 4 seconds per hit, excluding himself, but every time he uses Iron Stance, you have a 60% chance to decrease the cooldown of your first ability by 15 seconds, which is just absolutely amazing. And that actually goes up to 6 seconds per hit, decrease in the cooldown, and then a 20-second decrease in your first ability, which I think is just insane. And that cooldown has a 60% chance of happening. I don't know how many hits he deals, and honestly it happens super fast, but when I use him in Arena, I feel like he hits at least 6 or 7 times, to be honest. His leader skill is increase the defense of rock heroes by 10%, which is great because he's a defense unit. And he has last stand again on his leader skill, or his striker skill, 6,000 strike points. So this again deals massive damage, but however he shines the most when you put him in your core 3. He can be used in PvE and in PvP. I use him everywhere. He is in the team that got me to top 10. He's also in the team that I used to farm Nightmare mode. Hold on now. What was I going to say? For him, I can show you my orbs on him and my crest, but right now I have resistance crest on him because I used to run a sustained team and I was trying to get as much resistance as possible to resist stuns and strips. But I'm really planning to move him into grit, and I'm not doing it right now because I don't have good enough grit crest to make the transition. Orbs, again, you guys can do it one of 2 ways. You guys can go with possibly with defense scaling, so have him on Ironguard and make him really tanky, which actually makes your PvE a lot safer. But if you guys want to maximize your PvP, then you guys should go for crit, because I think the best crit that you can get onto a unit is about 45%. My Rockgen has 41% crit, but every now and then he crits with his first skill, Last Stand, and it deals immense damage. It almost one-shots certain comps. Even comps with Kerr, he almost one-shots at times, so that's pretty darn neat. His brother doesn't really get a lot of love, simply because he just isn't that dynamic. He is viable, but not as good as the Rock one. Royal Combo has a 30-second cooldown and has a breakpoint of 3. That breakpoint stays at 2. Breakpoint of 2, and it stays at 2. It has the ability to launch the opponent, which kind of just bounces them. Like, that's how it visually looks. It bounces them and also interrupts their actions. So it's kind of like charging and shock. All of them have the ability to interrupt. You also have a 65% chance to launch them for 3 seconds, and then you have a 60% chance to increase the random target skill cooldown by 30%. So that's pretty darn cool. However, you guys might think that, okay, so Rock Jun decreases cooldown onto your team, Paper Jun will increase the cooldown of the opponent. You can look at it that way, but Paper Jun is a lot less consistent because it's a debuff. And debuffs, as we've discussed multiple times, is always reliant on RNG, which is why he isn't all that viable. Second skill is Energy Wave, and it will create a shield, very much like Adonis' shield. It is, you take 0 damage, and this is where a bit of the translation happens, a translation error happens. What this here means is that you will have a shield that will have you take no damage for 4 seconds, but then let's say the opponent was going to deal 1,000 damage onto you. 10% of 1,000 is 100, right? So instead of taking 1,000 damage, you're taking 0 damage, and you're going to heal for 100 if the opponent was going to deal 1,000 damage onto you. That's what that 10% is. It's the amount of healing. It's the amount of healing that that the shield is going to give your team. It's not the best healing, but at max, it does last for 6 seconds, and it will absorb 20% of the enemy's attack. So he is viable, especially in PvE, but in PvP, he kind of falls off. However, I still do use him in Pair Arena. His leader skill will increase the defense of Jin faction by 10%, which is great because he skills off of defense. And then his striker skill over here is Energy Wave, which is basically the same thing as his second skill at max skill, but I think this one, yeah, this one only has 700% of defense damage. This one has 1200%, so it's almost double the damage in defense. But as for the healing and the duration, it's about the same. If you guys are going to build him on defense, full Ironguard, and then give him either Grit or Precision. I would go for Precision and try to get some activation, status activation substats on all of my crests and my orbs, possibly 10% more from substats, and then 10% from precision would make that 60% to increase opponent's cooldown up to 80%, which again isn't 100%. You still have to factor in the opponent's resistance, also the fact that the opponents might have some shields, at which point if they have shields then you're not going to land this, no way. But this is again why Rock Jun is so much better, because even when the opponent has the Adonis shield, I can still use the second ability. Might not get me any damage onto the opponent, however, it still gets my team the cooldown. So, I mean, I know that I basically stopped showing you guys how the skills look, but it really doesn't matter. Like, you guys can go and look at it yourselves. I mean, the only reason that I would want to show you guys skill preview is if there's something like really secretive that I would want to let you guys in on, but there's no like secret tips here with these two units especially. Let's go over to lobby. I'll show you guys, I can show you guys two teams, right? So first of all, let's just head over to my Jun. I think he's ruined decently. Most crit Juns I've seen only have like 400% defense, and they don't even have the Afterlife Walker title, which actually gives me no defense. It only gives me critical rate. So I'm pretty proud of my Jun. He could be a lot better though, to be honest. These are his orbs. They don't have a lot of critical rate on him. That's because if you guys look, all of them did have resistance on them, and that's what I was trying to do, make my team very much based on resistance. But he still does have decent defense and critical rate substats. And then, nope, not Gunter. Let me see. Here is my Natalia. These are my orbs. Crests are just filler crests, not really trying to maximize damage. They're just trying to get as much precision as I can. Here's my scissor Natalia. Don't go off these orbs, okay? I just built her and then I just put some leftover orbs on her just to try her out. But then she didn't really work out for me because I had better units, and then I was just like, I don't really want to spend too much time on her. So I don't have any crests or any titles on her. And then where is my Well, it's not even worth showing you guys my paper John because he has nothing. So let me just go into so that's it for this video, but if you guys want, I can show you guys my Natalia in a bleed team if I still have it. Okay, so we can take on this guy. Yep, here she is. Let me just make a really quick change, okay? Let me just get in my Ebonia here, just to get some status activation. And let's go. Okay, so we're gonna wait around here. I want this skill. No, we're not gonna wait around at all. We're just gonna run, because they saw us. Alright, there's the boss. Buff up. Here's the bleed. Here is the burn. Here's her break. Oh, please don't kill me. What? Oh my lord. Okay. Probably not the best showcase. Okay, so not the best showcase. But you guys get my point. Damn. Okay, I'm going to come back after the video and clean this up. But for right now, let me just move on to... I'm just trying to debate. Should I show you guys... you guys have seen my rock gen multiple times, right? So that's fine. Yeah, I'm not going to waste any more time here. I'm just going to go back here and clean this up. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. If you guys learned anything new or found out some things about these units and you guys found my tips helpful, please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to my channel. And if you guys have any questions, any concerns about the video, please let me know. I am more than happy to help you guys out if you guys are struggling in any stages of the game. If you guys have any future video requests, please let me know as well. And until the next time, guys, Neon out.